Hi all. Today we are going to learn about method overloading, method overriding, final variables and final methods. Let's first understand what is method overloading. Method overloading is a type of polymorphism. Polymorphism is the property of an object to behave differently in different instances or simply one name many forms. In method overloading, we are using same method name or same function name with different definitions. Let's understand this concept with an example. I am writing a class addition. Inside this class, I am going to create variables a, b, c, sum. Then I am going to write a function void add. Inside the function I am initializing a equal to 10, b equal to 25, sum equal to a plus b. System dot out dot println sum equal to plus sum. Now I am going to create the main class program. Inside this class I am going to write the main function public static void main string args. Inside this main function I am going to create the object of class addition. Addition a is equal to new addition. Then I am going to call the function a dot add. Let's execute this program. See, the sum is displayed as 35. 25 plus 10 is equal to 35. This is simple basic program to add two numbers. So inside the class addition, I am going to write another method called add, which will add three values, that is a equal to 10, b equal to 20, c equal to 30, then sum equal to a plus b plus c. So I want to write a function like this. In the first add function it should add two numbers, in the second add function it should add three numbers, but this is not possible. It will show an error. See, method add is already defined in class addition, so it is not possible to again define a function called add. Then how method overloading is achieved? Method overloading means same function name with different definition. Actually the definition is different. Here it is adding two numbers, here it is adding three numbers, but we cannot directly use the same signature of a function. Same signature means function with same name and same argument list with the same data type. So in order to achieve method overloading, we have to make functions with different signature. That is, either the number of arguments should be different, otherwise the data type of the argument should be different. So how I am going to achieve method overloading in this program is, instead of initializing the value here, I am going to receive it as arguments of that particular method, int a, int b. Now a and b is received as argument from the main function. That value will be added and is stored in sum and it will be displayed. Here I am going to receive three variables, int a, int b, int c. I am going to remove these statements. System dot out dot println sum equal to. Now in the main program, instead of simply coding a dot add, I am going to pass the arguments as values. That is, first I am going to give 3, 4. So here the add function is called with two arguments as integer type. So what the compiler will do is it will check for a function definition of add which will receive two integer values as arguments. In this class addition there is two function named add. So next it will check for which function is receiving two integers as the argument. So the first function is receiving two integers as arguments. So the 3 and 4 will be passed to this function. So A will get the value 3 and B will get the value 4. So 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 will be printed. Let's see the output of this program. See, sum equal to 7. Next I am going to pass 3 arguments, 3, 4, 5. So here also first it will check for the object. A is of type addition, then add function. So addition class have two add functions. One is receiving two integer arguments and second is receiving three integer arguments. In our function call there is three integer arguments, 3, 4, 5. So it will use the definition of function having three integer arguments. So the value 3, 4, 5 will be copied to A, B, C respectively and sum equal to 3 plus 4 plus 5. So the answer will be 12. Let's see the output. See, this is how method overloading is working. Same function name but different argument list. So based on how many arguments we are passing, we can reuse the same function name. Now next concept is we can also change the type of the argument. For example, I can write another function which will receive two arguments, void add, but the data type now I am changing to double A, double B. Double will be used for handling floating point variable with better precision in Java. So here I am going to initialize sum equal to A plus B. You have to remember one concept here. Here the A and B are of type double and sum is declared as integer. So this will not work because the LHS sum is of type integer and the RHS A plus B will be of type double. See, there is an error, incompatible types. So what should I do is I am going to redefine sum as a double variable. So now this error will not be there. Then after addition I am going to print the value system dot out dot println sum equal to plus sum. So now there is three add functions in the class addition. One is receiving two double variables as argument, another add function is receiving two integer variables as argument, and another add function is receiving three integer variables as argument. So whatever value we are passing in the main function, it will execute. Now I am calling a dot add 3, 4, 5. So which definition will work? It will check for a add function definition which will receive three integer variables as arguments. So int a, int b, int c. This function will be executed. Next I am going to call a add function add 3, 2. So now there is two numbers as arguments, but one is of type double and one is of type integer. Though I am passing integer values, it will go for the function definition of integer type. So this function will be executed. Next I am going to call a function with floating point values 3.5, 2.3. Now it will check for a function definition of add which will receive floating point type or double type. So this function will be executed in the third time. Let's see the output of all these three function calls. See, first integer with three variables are executed, then integers with two variables are executed, then double variable with two values are executed. This is what is called method overloading. Same function name, different definition or different argument list or different number of parameters. Next we are going to learn about method overriding. A class can be inherited to another class using the concept of inheritance. So a function in the parent class name can be redefined in the child class. That is, same function name can be having a different definition in the child class. This is possible in Java. This is what is called as method overriding. Let's understand this concept with an example. I hope you remember the program of inheriting a triangle from class rectangle. So I am creating that same program. In that program itself, we have already learned this concept of function overriding because we redefined the calculate perimeter function in the child class. Let's recollect that program. So the same name of that of class name. I am initializing the values. Side 1 equal to 10, side 2 equal to 20, perimeter equal to 0. Then I am going to write the method for calculating perimeter. Calperi. Inside the method I am initializing perimeter is equal to side 1 plus side 2 whole into 2. Side 1 plus side 2 star 2. Next I am going to print out this value, system.out.println perimeter is equal to plus perimeter. Now the definition is over. Next I am going to create a class triangle which is extended from rectangle. I am going to create the third side because side 1 and side 2 is automatically inherited from class rectangle. Perimeter will also be inherited. Next I am going to create the constructor of triangle class. I am initializing the three sides. Side 1 equal to 10, side 2 equal to 20, side 3 equal to 5. Next perimeter equal to 0. I have initialized all the values. Next I am going to redefine the method calcperi. This is what is called as function overriding. Here I am going to redefine the equation or redefine the calperimeter function as perimeter is equal to side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. I'm going to print the value system.out.println perimeter equal to plus perimeter. See, in this program the rectangle class have a void calcperi function and the triangle class also have a void calcperi function. Both the classes have calcperi function. Remember, whatever the methods and data types defined in the parent class, it will be inherited to the child class. So actually the child class have now two functions with the same name, that is calcperi from the rectangle class and calcperi from the triangle class, but the function definition is different. That is, in rectangle class we have defined side 1 plus side 2 into 2, but in triangle class we are using side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. So this is what is called as method overriding. We can redefine the function in the derived class with a different definition. So the function name is same in both the parent class and child class, but the definition is different. This is what is called as function overriding. Next I am going to create the main class program. Inside the main class I am going to create the main method public static void main, public static void main string args. Inside the main method I am creating an object of rectangle class, rectangle r is equal to new rectangle. Then I have called the function of calculating perimeter. Next I am going to create the triangle object, triangle T is equal to new triangle T dot calc_peri. Let's execute this program. See, both the perimeter are shown. Perimeter is equal to 60, perimeter is equal to 35. If we check here, see the compiler is showing that multiple annotations are here. Add override annotation, that is, here we are doing the method overriding. Calc perimeter is defined in both the parent classes and child class, but the parent class function definition is overridden by the child class parent function definition. So if I am calling the calc_peri function in association with a parent, that is r dot calc_peri, it is of the parent class, then the definition of the parent class will be executed. That is by 20 plus 10, 30 is shown as output. When I am associating the calc_peri function with the child class object, it will execute the calc_peri definition that I wrote in the child class. So this is what is called as function overriding. The function with the same name can be redefined in the child class. Next is, what if you don't want to override the function in the child class? What should you do to prevent the overriding? For that purpose, we can use a keyword called final. If you don't want to override the parent class function by its child class function, then while writing the parent class function definition, you have to give a keyword called final. Final void calc perimeter. Now if I going to redefine the void calc perimeter function, it will show error. See, calc perimeter in triangle cannot override in rectangle because the rectangle function is final. If we make a method as final, then we cannot redefine that method in the derived class. This is what is called as final methods. So simply, a final method is a method which cannot redefined in the derived class or in the child class. Final is used for preventing the child class to override the parent class function. So in order to prevent, you have to use the final keyword as the prefix for that particular function. If we use the keyword final as prefix, then we cannot override that same function in the child class. It will show error if I compile this program. See, it is showing error. So this is not possible. There is also another concept called final variable. If we declare a variable as final, then we cannot redefine or we cannot modify the value for that variable. I will illustrate the concept of final variable with a simple program. I am going to create a variable int x equal to 10. I am going to write a function void increment, which will increment the value of x by 1. X plus plus, it will print the value system dot out dot println value of x equal to then I am going to write the main function public static void main string args. Inside the main function, I am going to create the program p is equal to new program, then p dot increment. Now the increment function will be called and the value of x will be incremented by 1. So 10 plus 1 11, then system dot out dot println value of x equal to 11 will be printed. Let's see the output of this program. See, value of x equal to 11. Next, I am going to make a small change in this variable declaration. I am giving the value final int x equal to 10. I have already told that if I gave a prefix final to a variable, then we cannot modify or we cannot change the value of that particular variable. When I give the final keyword itself, it shows an error in the place where I am trying to increment the value of xc. See the error? Cannot assign a value to final variable x. So if you try to change the value of a final variable, it is impossible in Java. So what is the use of final variable is, if you want to create a variable which should be constant throughout the entire execution of a program, then you have to define that variable as final variable, so that even though we are trying to change that value, or even though we are trying to modify that value in a particular instance of time, it is not possible. So this is usually used for creating a constant throughout the execution of a program. So simply, final variable is a variable which cannot be modified, and final method is a method or a function which cannot be redefined in the child class or in the derived class. This is the concept of final variable and final methods. Thank you.